Good afternoon. Transportation Systems Management, Module 5. In this session, we will be discussing advanced transit technologies. So, first, in that, we will be discussing about low carbon vehicles. So, low carbon vehicle or zero emission vehicles that can be termed as an electric vehicle that is partially or fully powered by electricity and plugs in to recharge. So we need to plug it in to recharge. They can reduce the fuel consumption and emissions. The drivers, they could reduce their vehicles' greenhouse gas emissions by about 60 to 90% by driving these battery electric vehicles or the plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. So these electric vehicles can be categorized into two. First one is battery electric vehicles, that is BEV, and the second type is the plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. So first we will discuss about battery electric vehicles. They run only on electricity powered by an electric motor and battery. They can be plugged into an external source of electricity in order to recharge, and they produce zero tailpipe emissions. So since it is fully running on electricity, it will not produce any tailpipe emission. So the tailpipe emission will be zero in the case of a battery electric vehicles. Whereas in the second type, that is the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or PHEV, that is a short form, PHEV. So it runs on electricity powered by an electric motor, and also there is a small battery. It can run on gasoline when the battery is low. So whenever the battery is low, it can run on the gasoline. So it can be plugged into an external source of electricity in order to recharge, and it will produce low tailpipe emission. So emissions are there, but the quantity is very less. Now, in order to promote the use of these electric vehicles, the authorities or the government has to adopt a number of policies. So next we will see the policies to be adopted for the market success of the low carbon vehicles. So first one is the fuel taxes. We know that the non-renewable fuels or fossil fuels, they are getting extincted. So they are getting they are being used at a very high rate, and so the government is charging high taxes on such fuels, and as a result of these high taxes, people are forced to shift from these conventional automobiles to these modern technology, like modern these low carbon vehicles or electric vehicles. So people are encouraged to use or to choose such modes, that is by increasing the fuel taxes, which is a very common thing which we see in India. We know the rate of taxes and how the rising trend of people, more and more people moving towards these or opting electric vehicles. So that is something which is happening in our country right now. Now next is the vehicle subsidies. So these electric vehicles will be given certain subsidies by the government, so that people will be attracted to take choose such methods. Then technology mandates. So new technologies and new safe, efficient and economically viable technologies are being evolved for promoting these low carbon vehicles. Then efficiency standards. So they are having a very high efficiency compared to the other non conventional modes. So that is also an attracting factor. Then investment in refueling infrastructure and dedicated parking spaces. So if you buy a electric vehicle, then if the country is offering you ample opportunities for refueling, and there is refueling infrastructure sufficiently available, then definitely people will opt for that. So that is also one important factor. Then dedicated parking spaces for these electric vehicles. Then social media campaigns and car sharing networks in order to demonstrate the technology, so people will be more attracted towards these. So these are the different policies which are adopted in order to promote, to encourage people to use these low carbon vehicles. So next we will see another advanced technology, that is called as the automated highway. So when we are discussing about the developments in personalized vehicle systems, we know that the personalized motor car has grown in popularity because of the great advantage it has over other forms of transport systems. But the problems of fuel shortage, congestion, parking, and pollution, etc., they have hampered the further development of this system. So researchers have developed new more efficient personalized vehicle systems, and one such innovative system is the automated highway. So it is a technology where it consists of a specially designed carriageway with control cables which are embedded in the pavement. So normal pavement, we know this cross section of a normal pavement will be at the bottom you have a subgrade, then base, and the wearing course, and on top of that the vehicles will be traveling. So that wearing course, so that is the contact surface between the vehicle and the pavement. So here in the case of an automated highway, it consists of a specially designed carriageway with control cables embedded in the pavement. So control cables are being cables are provided in the pavement. So here you can see the thickness. So the pavement is slightly above the ground, and in this region, in the inside of this pavement, there are cables, and these cables will be controlling the movement of the cars. So the operations normally performed by a driver, such as speed selection and adjustment of space between successive vehicles. So that is like we'll give a safe distance between the our vehicle and between the front of our vehicle and the rear end of the vehicle which is moving in front. So that safe distance, and that all is actually then what is the speed at which the vehicle should move. So all that will be decided by the driver in the case of a normal highway. And also in the case of an automated highway, all these operations, that is speed selection, then adjustment of space between successive vehicles, all these will be handled by a centralized computer. So a computer will be deciding what should be the speed of your vehicle and what should be the once you enter this particular automated highway, from there onwards everything will be controlled by a centralized computer. So this particular highway has a capacity of about 9,000 vehicles per hour per lane, and imagine a lane, in that lane per hour 9,000 vehicles can be safely maneuvered by this particular these cables which are provided below the pavement, and this through these cables a particular central computer will be controlling the movement of the cars in that lane. So that is the feature of automated highway. Now another development, innovative development in personalized vehicle system is the use of dual mode system. So a dual mode system means it consists of a small car, and this car is capable of moving on roads as well as on the rail lines. When on the rails, then they are automatically driven and controlled. For example, the Star RR car and the automobile. So they are all examples of this technology. So another type is like battery powered small cars offer a new power source and are likely to be popular in the future. So all these are innovative developments. Now here you can see automated vehicle. So what I told you, is the automated vehicle. So yes, this is an automated vehicle. So automated vehicle means uh, it can it has certain technologies. They are equipped with technology, and that enables them to sense and interpret their environment. So there are a number of cameras, then lidar is there, then so many systems are there. Then it can make the vehicle control decisions when the vehicle is moving along a curve. So how the steering should be rotated, all these will be controlled, and there is a how to react without relying on human driver. So braking and acceleration, all these will be done automatically in an automated vehicle. Okay, so an automated vehicle, it is actually a driverless car. Okay, such cars are being entrenched nowadays. So a self-driving car, or a driverless car, or a robotic car, so that is called as an automated vehicle. So it is a car which is incorporating vehicular automation. That is a ground vehicle that is capable of sensing its environment, and it can move safely with little or no human input. So without any human input. Okay, so that is the name itself suggests it is automated, driverless, or it's a robo car. So it does not require a driver. Self-driving cars combine a variety of sensors to perceive their surroundings, such as there are thermographic cameras, then radar, lidar, sonar, GPS, odometry, and inertial measurement units are there. So advanced control systems interpret sensory information to identify appropriate navigation paths as well as obstacles and relevant signage. So these components which I told, like thermographic camera, radar, lidar, sonar, GPS, odometry, and inertial measurement units. So all these and the control systems, they can interpret the sensory information. So these sensors, they receive the information, and the information which is obtained, that is processed, and the control system will, after processing this information, the control system will identify the appropriate navigation path. If at all there is any obstacle, then or that will be sensed, and that obstacle will be considered, and a new path will be taken. So there will be traffic signs. So this self-driving cars, they can sense the traffic signals. Okay, and they can identify the signal, and they can accordingly they can make the appropriate movement. If it is a stop sign, then it will sense it, and the car will automatically stop. So that is the advanced control systems which are being incorporated in this automated vehicles. So the certain levels of automations are they are being established, and such cars are already there in the market. So anyways, this automated vehicles, they can be categorized into 6 different levels. The first is level 0. So level 0 means there is no automation. It's a manually driven car. A driver is driving a car. So that is an example of a level 0 type of automated vehicle, that is, there is no automation. Then level 1 means hands on, that is shared control. So hands on, hand control is there, and other things are being monitored. Then level 2 means hands off. You don't need to control the steering. Level 3 means eyes off. There is no need to see the road. And level 4 is mind off. No need to decide whether to apply brake or to accelerate. Nothing, you have to decide. Then level 5 means steering wheel itself is optional. So there is no steering wheel, may or may not be there. So such different levels of automation is possible, and certain levels up to level 2 and all, it is already available in the market. And other levels, they are actually doing researches, and more researches have been going on in those areas. So next we'll be studying about a topic that is planning, infrastructure and implementation issues. So we have discussed about a number of advanced transit technologies like low carbon vehicles, automated highway systems, and its characteristics, but electric vehicles, then automated vehicles. So all these they are very innovative technologies. So what are the issues in implementing these techniques, especially in our country? What are the issues? So that is what we are going to discuss in this particular slide. So first one is the potholes or poor stripping and other maintenance issues. So we know the condition of the roads in our country. So there are a lot of strength and issues for the pavements. There are potholes, that is large depressions on the roads, and there are different types of cracks on the roads. You can see crazing, like the pavement getting peeled off. So that is there in some even new pavements, because there are issues like the construction method adopted is not proper. By adopting improper techniques and all, the stability and strength of the road is not adequate, and also the durability is an issue. Okay, so also there is maintenance problems, like, so all these, they adversely affect the implementation of such advanced technologies in Indian roads. Even in foreign countries, these issues are there. To promote higher levels of autonomy, mapping software must be highly accurate. For difficult intersections, for instance, it will need to record dimensions down to the inch. So we have discussed about automated highways. So where a particular central computer will be controlling all the cars, or all the cars in that particular highway. So in that case, that mapping, the computer is using a particular software, and that software must be highly accurate in order to promote higher levels of autonomy, especially for difficult intersections. So suppose you have an automated highway, and at an intersection means what? One particular straight road is there, and there is another road crossing that particular road. In that case, if it is like two or three roads meeting at a particular junction, so for that is a difficult intersection. So some vehicles will have to move to the right, and some have to go straight, and another stretch of vehicles will be turning towards the left. So such a difficult intersection, even when the number of cars are more, even if there is a 1 inch deviation, then it will lead to collision. So this particular software which is controlling that particular highway should be capable of measuring or recording dimensions down to the inches. Now even 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So that much accuracy level is required, especially for difficult intersections. So that is one challenge. Then another challenge is that if the roads are deteriorating and the road markers are fading, the physical structure of the intersection will constantly change. So the condition of the roads, after say 2 years or something, if the frequent maintenance is not being carried out, that the markings will be fading, and the pavement surface will be getting there'll be a stripping of the pavement surface. So all these also will cause alterations, and this could also impede the growth of the this particular automated vehicle. So automated vehicles, for the safe and efficient use of automated vehicles, the roads should be in very great condition throughout the year, and also there shouldn't be minute alterations. So if the pavement is slightly getting deflected, okay, then it could affect the travel of affect the particular automated vehicle in that particular stretch. So thus even minute alterations could what impede means what? It could adversely affect the growth of the automated vehicles. Okay, then large support facilities are needed to service and charge the automated vehicle. So that is one important factor. If a particular automated vehicle needs some sort of a repair, or some, if it is not working properly, there should be support facility, and there should be service center. So that is also required. Then large capital is required for the rent, labor and creation of charging infrastructure for electric vehicles. So we have seen the electric vehicles. So for that you need charging stations or charging infrastructure. For that also capital investment required is more. Then another problem or another challenge is the staging areas. So to avoid congestion, the automated vehicle fleets and shared ride services. Shared ride means it's like a taxi service or something. You can a number of people can use a common AV, that is automated vehicle. They can share their ride. Okay, so suppose 3 people are going from A to location C, then they can use a common automated vehicle. Suppose another person want to go from A to D, and he can also take that particular AV, and the 2 people will be going from A to C and third person from A to D. So they can share their vehicle. So that is shared ride service. So like carpooling. Okay, so they need the locations where they can idle when picking up or discharging passengers. So after going from A to D, suppose he have to wait there. Okay, or that particular vehicle has to go to another location F, wait there, and when the person at D is is hiring again, that particular vehicle can come back and pick that particular person and again drop him wherever he wants. So for that, in order to avoid congestion, there should be places where this particular vehicle can idle, or where vehicle can park. So one solution might involve converting the existing parking spots into staging areas accessible to multiple fleet operators. So staging area means the parking areas. So existing parking spots can be converted to staging areas. Now another idea or another suggestion is that is curb modification. So curb means it predominantly serves as a see here in this particular figure, you can see that on the side of the road curbs are provided. Okay, so this particular curb, it predominantly serves as a space for parking. During rush hour, the curb might be a pickup site for an automated vehicle shuttle that are part of the public transportation system. So there can be public transportation system, like the government can have automated vehicles, so that those vehicles they'll be their pickup site can be any particular curb, maybe completely reserved for the pickup site for an automated vehicle that is part of a public transportation system. Later, so that is during the peak hours, like morning from say 8:30 to 10:30, a particular point, a particular curb can be reserved for the pickup site for an AV shuttle. Later means after say 10:30 to say up to 12:30, there won't be much traffic. So for that time, that particular curb, so then there won't be any public transportation system. The number of AVs as part of public transportation system will be less in that in that time interval, that is from 10:30 to 12:30, because all people, everybody has reached schools or colleges, and now there is not much of traffic in the road. So during that time, this particular curb could be used as a parking space for food trucks during lunch, and a site for freight, that means the goods and cargo delivery trucks at night. So this space can be reserved for different operations during the different times of the day. Transforming the curb may also encourage because encourage people who are using shared automated vehicles. So because the travelers could share the cost related to drop off, especially during times when the price increases. So dynamically pricing the curb space could also reduce congestion and cut down on vehicles circling. So whenever during peak hours, the cost for parking can be increased, and during the free hours it can be reduced. Okay, so this curb can be used for a number of applications, like for vehicle storage, that is for parking, then for car sharing, as a point for different people to hire the car. Then pedestrians and crossing infrastructure, food trucks and mobile vendors. So for particular time, these trucks can be parked at that area, and certain like food or other items, they can be sold. Okay, so that can also be one particular application of this curb or use of curb. Then special events can be conducted, like flash mobs, etc., can be conducted in this area. Then emergency services, then micro mobility, like the use of bicycle parking, like of all that can be bicycle hiring. Okay, sport. So suppose in the early morning, when people prefer to use bicycle ride for exercise and all, so during that time, say morning 6 a.m. to say 8 a.m., at that time this particular curb can be a place where you can get such bicycles for rent. Okay, then electric charging spot, it can also be a point where electric charging can be provided. Then transit and transit infrastructure, like the trams and all, so tram stops, etc. Then ride hailing, like you want carpooling and all that, for that you can hail the ride from that curb. Then flex zones, like markings and all. Then bicycles and other infrastructure, local businesses, then access for all, green infrastructure, parklets and streetscapes, like gardens and all. Then for the cargo. So all these can be the usages of curb. So if you can use curb in all these ways, then that can be a positive or a strategy to implement these advanced transit systems. So by modifying curb in these ways, you can actually help develop the advanced transit technology infrastructure. Okay. Next, moving on to the mobility hubs. So a commuter might take a robo taxi from home to the nearest train station. Then he might take an electric scooter to get to the from the stop to the office. So suppose a person is going to his workplace. Okay, so from his home to the railway station, he may take a robo taxi or an automated car. From the then he'll be traveling in the train, and he'll be reaching the next train station, and from there he may take a scooter. So if this process is difficult, if these different different modes are not available, then the passenger might opt to take a private automated vehicle from point to point. So in order to promote people using different modes and different techniques of sustainable transport systems, we have to have mobility hubs. And to avoid this particular situation, officials could consider investing in more mobility hubs where travelers going in the same direction can access shared transportation, including the automated vehicles. So these facilities could include micro mobility pickup locations, places where people could get scooters or bikes next to subway stops, or large transit facilities that also contain dining and shopping options at the critical nodes. So in the next figure, all these points which we have discussed, all these points are included. So infrastructure options in order to promote shared ridership. So we need to promote these shared ridership for automated vehicles, or SAM. Okay, so SAM means what? SAM is the shared automated vehicles. All right. So for that we have to have these options like smart applications such as advanced traffic management system to provide routing and pricing information. So here you can see this particular application where the routes and the, I hope it is clear. So the first one is the, this is where you can see the board for which provides you the routes and the prices, the information, so all that is provided. Then second one is the autonomous vehicle maintenance, storage and charging facilities. So here you can see this is the one second. Okay, so in the second figure, when the second point is the autonomous vehicle maintenance, storage and charging facilities that is provided, then you can see this is the facility for that. Then reinvention of curb by rezoning on-street parking into flexible spaces for pickup, drop-off and transit stops during rush hour, commercial use in the evening and freight use overnight. So all these we have mentioned about. Okay, we have talked about curb modification. So curb modification is the third point. So the first one is the smart application, that is the pricing information, then routing, etc. Second one is the autonomous vehicle maintenance, storage and charging. Then coming to the curb modification, so that is the third one. Then mobility hubs, that is the fourth point. So mobility hubs bring together all these multiple modes of transportation. So we have talked about the mobility hubs wherein the facilities could include micro mobility pickup locations, places where people could get scooters or bike next to the train stop. Okay, and next to the railway station there should be places where people should be able to get bus like scooter or bike, and large transit facilities. Also there should be dining and shopping options. So all that is the mobility hub. Then smart parking meters or market priced parking permits for remaining on street parking. So smart parking meters, these are the parking meters, or the market priced parking permits. So for different times of the day the price may vary. So that is also an option to promote the shared ridership. Now next we are moving on to the next topic, that is light rail transit. So light rail transit, as the photograph, you are all familiar with the LRT. So it is a form of passenger urban rail transit characterized by a combination of tram and metro features. While its rolling stock is more similar to a traditional tram, it operates on a higher capacity and speed and often on an exclusive right of way. So the right of way is exclusively for the particular LRT. As you can see, other suppose you can't drive your car through this particular track, or you can't drive a motorcycle through this particular track. So this right of way means what? The path through which it is traveling. So that is especially or exclusively for this particular LRT. Okay, so in many cities, we know LRT, they are like more or less like the metro only, and traditional underground or upgrade subways and heavy rail metros are there. So it's like more or less similar to the metro. Then these LRTs, I told you, they are also called as a tram or the street car. For example, if you take the case of India, we can mention about the trams which are operating on the roads of Delhi and Mumbai, where they have been, now they are not there. However, in Kolkata, there were LRTs are there. So the word light rail, that is it has got a lot of popularity, but fuel crisis has made the oil based bus transport system costly. So tram, it is an electricity based system, and thus it is free from the uncertainties associated with the availability of oil. Trams are relatively cheaper than conventional suburban rail systems. They are free from the pollution caused by motor vehicles. Then in many ways these are preferred. In foreign countries there are a lot of LRTs, and but in India, if you consider about the initial cost or the capital required, it may cost about 100 crores per kilometer. So that's all about LRT. Then coming to the monorail, next is the monorail. It is a railway. So earlier case, it was operating on the ground or at a particular grade. Okay, monorail means it's a railway in which the track consists of a single rail or a beam. So here you can see it is a there are piers, viaduct, and on top there is a beam, and on that beam, through that beam the rail is the monorail, that railway is traveling. So almost all modern monorails are powered by electric motors fed by dual third rails or contact wires or electrified channels which are attached to or enclosed in their guidance beam. Some diesel powered monorail systems also exist. So this is the monorail. Even we had plans of establishing this monorail in Kerala. So talking about the existing monorail systems in India, a special mention about the MMRDA Mumbai monorail. So that is in the city of Mumbai, Maharashtra. It is built as part of the major expansion of the public transport system in the city of Mumbai. You know the population and the traffic in Mumbai. This project was implemented and operated by the Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority. So that is MMRDA, Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority, that is MMRDA. So the system started commercial operation after partially opening its phase 1 to the public in 2014. The line 1, so this is actually the existing type of Yeah, this phase 1, it connects a point called Jacob Circle in the South Mumbai to a point called Chembur in the Eastern Mumbai. It was built at a cost of about 3,000 crore, and these 20.21 kilometer line that is fully elevated, and this line was it was owned and operated by the Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority, RDA. So the cost was very high, like it was about 3,000 crore for 20 kilometers. So that is the typical cost requirement. And the phase 2 was opened on March 3rd, 2019. So about monorail and about one particular example of the monorail, that's what we have discussed. Now next is the bus rapid transit system, that is called as BRT. So bus rapid transit or BRT is a high quality bus based transit system that delivers fast, comfortable and cost effective services at metro level capacities. It does this through the provision of dedicated lanes with busways and stations aligned to the center of the road. So the one particular feature is off-board fare collection. So before you enter into a BRT, there will be a station. We know the case of a metro station. So you have to take the ticket from that station. Like in the case of a bus, normally after entering into the bus only you will be taking the ticket. But here, before entering itself, you have to take the ticket. So that is off-board fare collection. So that is one highlight. And fast and frequent operation, that is the other highlight of this bus rapid transit system. They contain features similar to the light rail or metro system. It is reliable, convenient, faster than the regular normal. If you compare with the normal bus service, this BRT is highly reliable, convenient, and also it is faster if you are comparing with the normal bus service. Then bus rapid transit system or BRT is also able to avoid the causes of delay that typically slow the regular bus services, like being stuck in traffic and queuing to pay on board. Sometimes all the people will not be after reaching a station, still there will be people waiting to take the ticket. So such things can be avoided. And also being stuck in a traffic, that also can be avoided in the case of a BRT. So a BRT corridor is a section of a road or or it can be continuous roads which are served by bus route or multiple bus routes. Minimum length should be about 3 kilometer, and that should be completely dedicated to bus lanes. Okay, so 3 kilometers should be the minimum length. These are these BRT corridors. So for a particular section of a road to be called as a BRT corridor, there are certain essential features. These features, they result in a faster trip for passengers and make traveling on transit more reliable and more convenient. So the features are, first one, dedicated right of way. Bus only lane. Dedicated right of way means no other automobile will be allowed to enter the the path which is exclusively reserved for the BRT. So bus only lanes. So there won't be any motorcycles or cars in that particular lane. So that is one important feature of this BRT. So that is dedicated right of way. Bus only lanes make for they may help in fast travel, and they ensure that the buses are never delayed due to mixed traffic congestion. So when mixed traffic exists, one bike will be overtaking, and that will be in front of the bus, and another car will be again in front of the bus. So there will be that will be moving at a different speed. A slow moving even a slow moving cycle can be in front of your bus, and that can also cause a delay for the particular bus. So such delays can be avoided by this feature called as dedicated right of way. So only bus in that particular lane, so that is called as dedicated right of way, that is bus only lanes. Another feature is the busway alignment. So the center of the roadway, or the, see here you can see this is the center point. So center of the roadway or the bus only corridor keeps the buses away from the busy curbside where cars are parking, standing and turning. So in this road, in this figure, you can see at the center portion that is being reserved for the buses. So the scooters and all can travel in the lane which is on the near to the curb means what? That is the footpath near that area. So near the curb, there you can allot the space for the other two-wheelers and everything. Okay. Then off-board fare collection, which we have already discussed. So off-board fare collection means fare payment at the station instead of on the bus. So this eliminates a delay caused by passengers waiting to pay on board. Intersection treatments. Prohibiting turns for traffic across the bus lane reduces the delays caused to buses by turning traffic. So prohibiting such turns is the most important measure for moving buses through intersections, more important even than signal priority. So buses are given the priority, so that is achieved through intersection treatments. Then platform level boarding. The station should be at level with a bus for quick and easy boarding. So here you can see bus and the station. There is no need for stairs or escalators. A person who want to just disembark or just want to get into the bus can easily do that, because the bus and the station, they are at the same level. So this is for quick and easy boarding. Also this makes it fully accessible for wheelchairs, disabled persons, etc. So they can also find it very easy to use the bus rapid transit system. So these are the features, 5 important features of BRT, that is dedicated right of way, busway alignment, off-board fare collection, intersection treatments and platform level boarding. Next important topic is the RRTs. Okay, RRT or the Rapid Rail Transit System. So Rapid Rail Transit System, it is also called as Mass Rapid Transit System. You may be familiar with that term, MRT, that is mass, because it can be used to commute a mass of, it's a large number of people from one point to another in a very speedy manner. So it's also called as heavy rail or metro or subway or tube or underground. So it is a type of high capacity, that is why the name mass, MRT or mass rapid transit system. So high capacity public transport, generally found in the urban areas or suburb, normally in the urban areas, where these other systems are not possible. So this MRTs, they cannot be accessed by the pedestrians because they are having an exclusive right of way, which is often grade separated. They will be in tunnels or in an elevated railway. So we know the Kochi Metro, the case where it is going at a particular height. So there is a grade that is grade separated. Some points it will be like going below the ground level. So it will be in tunnels. So such types of MRTs are also there. You have to rely on steps or a lift or like escalator, and in order to reach the MRT station. So from the ground level you have to use the lift or stairs or elevators and or escalators, and you have to reach the station. So that is the type of why, because it is grade separated. So that is about the rapid rail transit system. So accordingly they can be either, sometimes they can be provided on the surface. So in that case it is called a surface rapid rail transit service or system. Then they can be underground or they can be elevated. So an underground system that may be that you can see in Kolkata. Again, it is costly because of the tunnels to be built and the other infrastructure required. Then you can also see that the rapid developments have taken place in the technology of rapid rail systems, and speeds up to 300 to 800 kilometer might be possible, but not yet achieved. So the that's all about mass rail transit system. It's meant for taking people or mass of people. Next we will be discussing about the magnetic levitation. So magnetic levitation, it is a rail system which is running on monorails and is capable of running at high speeds as high as 400 km per hour. So this technology has been developed sufficiently to make the operation commercially feasible. It is based on the principle of magnetic levitation. The entire trains are suspended and propelled forward by magnetic forces without touching the rail track. So a 0.6 kilometer lane is already operational between the airport and the railway station in Germany, and that is Transrapid. So the advantages are the tracks require less maintenance, high speeds are possible, low noise, but the construction cost is very high, that we already know. Then the magnetic levitation system, it uses actually two sets of magnets. One is set to repel and push the train up off the track. That is where there is no contact between the rail and the train and the track. And another magnet that is set to move the elevated train ahead. So there are two sets of magnets. One is pushing the train up and the other one is moving the train, elevated train, forward. So there is no friction. That is why high speeds are possible. So it is taking advantage of the lack of friction. So that is the principle of magnetic levitation, how this high speed is achieved. That is because there is no friction between the train and the track. Why? Because there are two magnets. One is pushing the train up, that is off the track, and another one is moving the train in the forward direction. So there are both high speed intercity systems, like about having speed over 400 km per hour. Then there can be low speed urban systems. So low speed systems, that is from 80 km per hour to about 200 km per hour. So such speeds are also possible. So based on the requirement, such speed variations can be made possible. With the magnetic levitation technology, the train travels along a guideway of magnets which control the train's stability and speed. While the propulsion and levitation require no moving parts, the bogies can move in relation to the main body of the vehicle, and some technologies require support by retractable wheels at low speeds under 150 km per hour. So magnetic levitation, or the vehicles, they have achieved several speeds. They can accelerate and decelerate much faster than the conventional trains. The only practical limitation is the safety and comfort of the passengers. Although wind resistance at very high speeds can cause running costs that are 4 to 5 times that of conventional high speed. The Shanghai maglev train, also called as the Shanghai Trans Rapid, that is another name for this maglev trains. So it has achieved a speed of about 430 kilometer per hour. So that is the features of, that is a feature of magnetic levitation train, which is most innovative technology which is being used. So with that, we have covered the topics mentioned in the beginning of the particular module. So thank you. All of the notes also I'll be attaching along with the I will be uploading in the Google Classroom. Okay, so thank you all of you.